Combat Parley.
Capital Combat Parley here in Gatineau at Patenaude Kung Fu with Dave Leduc. Now Dave, I think the last time I saw you, you were running the Submission Fight League.
Oh.
I was competing in the Submission Fight League. I had a terrible day, I got my arm dislocated, but it was still a good show. And now I'm talking to you, the open weight Lethwei champion, but you're back in Gatineau training at the Patenaudes again. How does training at the Patenaude Kung Fu Gym relate itself to Lethwei?
Well, it's my first stop. It's my home. That's where it all started. All the journey started with Sifu Pat and the whole team. And yeah, it just feels good to be home and like train. Get the demon out and get the warrior. It just feels good. And yeah, it just to answer your question is just. I think it's just the epitome of my mentality for martial arts. I really love to be here.
And Lethwei, of course, being an incredibly brutal sport, no gloves, headbutts allowed. There's that timeout, the very controversial timeout where you can get put back in after being knocked unconscious. Do you find self-defense aspects of your training lend itself to that?
Well, maybe not the self-defense, but I feel the rawness of like I like the eye gouging, the fish hooks and everything. You know, we can't do it in the ring, but just the mentality to be able to be ready for the streets made me ready for Lethwei. You know, we always train in Sifu, like we train bare knuckle back sessions, we train the headbutts. You see, you can do the headbutts there. So we definitely were always training for this, so it was an easy switch, an easy transition from Muay Thai to Lethwei, and that's what we've been always wanted.
Now your fighting style, I mean, it's very aggressive, like you said, coming from this background, but you're also very good at not taking damage. Is that something that's important to you, and not only important to you, but to pass on to future students?
Yeah, it's like my coach always said, Sifu Pat always said, you know, it's the reason why he looks that good at his age. I feel like, first of all, I don't want to come home after a fight and be all like, okay, yeah, you make the money, but it's even better if you make the money and you're ready for a photo shoot, you're ready to go have a brunch the next day. I don't know why not, you know, if I can do the same thing, win and be not touched, I'm going to take this one 100% of the time. So, and also it shows your dominance. It shows your prowess in the ring if you're able to hurt your opponent and him not be able to hurt you. I think it's like, it shows your dominance, you know.
That's very interesting. Yeah. You've also talked about how like one jab in Lethwei isn't the same as a jab in boxing or Muay Thai. Elaborate on that a little bit.
So basically, not only the jab, but like if you jab in bare knuckle fighting. So for the people at home, they only have a little bit of tape and gauze. So it's really like you feel the bone crushing into the hard on the soft, the nose, the eyebrows, and everything. It cuts right away. So first jab, like first round in Muay Thai, usually it takes a couple of rounds to see blood, maybe, you know. And but in Lethwei, you can see right away, and like I get like a shark. I love to see the blood. It makes me happy. And the other thing is in boxing, to answer your question, you know, if you see a lot of headbutts, you know, sometimes by accident, accidental headbutt. Sometimes they even stop the fight, and it's like the biggest thing. And oh my God, they did a headbutt. They replay it 20 times, and that's accidental headbutts. Imagine if it's on purpose, and I want to headbutt you where I want to headbutt you. It's just like it's a completely different game, and that's why it's like. If you would make a Lethwei debut right away, you would get like coverage around the world because people are always looking for the next big thing, and this Lethwei is the next big thing. It is the big thing right now, and like it's controversial and for a reason. You know?
Well, I mean, it is a brutal sport, but like you said, it can be brutal while not taking punishment. Yeah. Do you think that style of aggressiveness and ranginess throws your opponents off? Do you think they're more in? They think it's going to be a back and forth dogfight, and
maybe, yeah. And like I said, I don't want to just like brawl and see who's the toughest. There's no need for that. Like we're at this point, at this level, we're all professionals. We're all trained to be tough and hard. Now it's to see who can like outclass the other guys. So yeah, I think most people think it's going to be an all-out war. It is, but I like to sting like a bee and then go out, sting like a bee and come out. And yeah, it's a different game, especially if you go in the clinch. We can't move too much right now, but like we're in the clinch, and then I would like do an elbow. Usually it stops, and then I would just line the headbutt right away. It stuns you. It's not always a knockout, but it stuns you and it sets up other things. You know. So I love it. It's my life mission to bring the Lethwei to the world. You know.
Well, that's interesting because you have become this international ambassador for the sport. Elaborate on bringing it to the world.
For me to see the Lethwei catching fire around the world, it's like a blessing because I feel like I don't want to train. I don't like fighting with no glove. It's so much more fun than fighting with gloves. Like I said, it's just more fun, and it's like it's the closest that I can come to street fight, if I could put it that way, without going to jail.
This is good. Did you find some, was there a bit of blowback or like maybe some social media blowback when you won being a Canadian in a culture that, you know, really respects the Lethwei game?
Yeah, they did it because it was the first time in history that like a foreigner wins the title. There's been a couple foreigners that fought and you know, with success and mild success, whatever, but like to win the title officially, it was the first time. And at first we got some like, they told us, you know, now back in the ring, I'm going to tell you guys, but like they said, okay, now watch where you're going to eat. If you go in the stalls, they might maybe, I don't know, maybe poison you. I don't know. Like, just, they didn't say anything, but they said, watch where you're going to eat, you know? So I'm like, okay. And my wife was like, looking at me, where are you bringing us, Dave, you know? But it was all like, I don't think it was any real threat. They're the warmest people there, and they accepted us like crazy, especially when we got our wedding there. They broadcasted live on the new national TV. They really adopted us. They even gave me a Burmese name, you know, Dewa.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty to be accepted because, you know, like sometimes here in Canada, like we know martial arts there's a lot of setbacks. Jiu-jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, like even amateur MMA and Muay Thai. I can't even practice it. You know, it's so that's the first reason why I went to Asia in the first place. But yeah, Canadian, like they don't accept martial arts that well, you know, and especially I don't know if we're gonna see Lethwei anytime soon here, but people are gonna be able to come train with us in Asia if they want to.
Tell us more about that, because you're moving to Asia permanently.
Yeah.
And opening a gym, is that the...
Yeah, so now we're in Asia for the last 3 years, but we're gonna move to the neighboring country. We're in Phuket right now.
Yeah,
and
beautiful,
Thailand.
by the way.
It's
Phuket,
pretty, it's very nice. But in Myanmar, it's like untouched, beautiful beaches as well. So I'm like I'm very biased. Cheaper, better weather, better everything, untouched and peaceful. And Lethwei, that's the thing. It's basically it's the Myanmar, used to be called Burma, and has it's the home of Lethwei. And for those who don't know the history that well, it's actually older than Muay Thai. And I was in Bangkok not long ago, and we were in the lobby of the hotel, and I saw like a big bell, you know, in the lobby with holes in it. And like, I had the guy, what's the hole? He's like, that's when the Burmese attacked us, you know. And there were a lot of wars between Thailand and Burma in Myanmar. Yeah. And Thailand, which is a good thing, they made the country open to the tourism and everything, and they added glove. They put they removed the headbutts and they added judges and everything. So they took Myanmar Lethwei, you know, and added a bunch of rules and stuff, but in Lethwei, it stayed raw. It stayed pure, and that's why I like it. It stayed untouched for some reason, and it's the only sport right now that we're allowed to do headbutts and fight bare knuckles. So I'm really happy that it stayed untouched. So so basically we're gonna move there and opening the first international MMA and Lethwei training center. So it's gonna take all my focus for the next years.
Now, does that mean you're going to continue to fight, or is retirement on?
Yeah, that's the big question right now. I have an interview this morning as well. It's just. I promised my wife that I don't want to have to fight, especially like it's different fighting. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, which is good, but it's less dangerous than bare knuckle. You know, correct. So I said I don't want to fight when we are starting our family, and it's in the plans right now. And also I can make a very good future with a training center. I've fought. I had 3 belts. Like how many belts is enough? You know, do I need 5? Do I need 10? Right. What was enough? Right. I have long discussions with my coach, with my wife, and right now my plan is to do as we speak a retirement fight, a huge clash of titans, and focus on the gym. I think I can bring more to the sport as we speak on the international level as an ambassador and to train the new generation than just to fight, because a lot of guys can fight, you know, but how many people can actually catapult the future generation, you know, to train this, because it's not easy to train. People that listen to this, they want to train. There's a lot of guys, the tough guys that want to fight. Where do they start, you know? So I want to facilitate that.
That's interesting. You know, talking about MMA gym with Lethwei, how does Lethwei lend itself to MMA? Because I know you get a lot of questions about, hey, when are you going to fight MMA? And I know Lethwei is your heart. Yeah. You're staying with Lethwei. Yeah. But does it cross over? Does it lend itself well to?
So if Lethwei fighters can go to MMA?
Yeah.
It's happening right now for ONE FC. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Lethwei fighters are getting approached to fight in ONE FC and MMA. They're swimming, don't have that much ground, you know, but it's happening right now, and it's a good way for them to make more money. Yeah, because right now the purses for like the small festivals in Myanmar are not that great. So they're jumping on this, gives them exposure and everything. But they have good hands, you know, and they have good hands and good. You cannot teach the intensity of taking a punch. You know, there's a lot of guys that have abs and they can do marathons in Thailand. We can see a lot of guys that can run faster than me and everything. They get one punch or one jab in the face and they're like, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm done. You know, like you cannot teach that willing to fight. You can teach a lot of techniques, but you know, so they have that the Myanmar fighters, and yeah, now that it's open to the world, I want to get that rawness and more techniques, because I think there's a lack of technique for some the new generation, and it's gonna be interesting for the future. But there is a lot of guys transitioning to MMA, and I can say that watch out for some Myanmar MMA fighters. Anla is my friend. He's the 1FC champion right now at I think. I'm not sure, 95 kilograms. He won 1FC recently. And yeah, he's bringing Myanmar on the map for Myanmar MMA. So yeah, you're going to hear that name a lot now.
It's blowing up, man. Lethwei. Speaking of it blowing up and you being the ambassador, you've played a very smart social media game. Mm-hmm. Was that innate? Was that something you planned on, or was that something you kind of grew into?
Thank you. Thank
you.
You're welcome.
I follow you.
Good. It just happened because I really care for the sport. I really care for it. It's really like it's part of us, you know. Like I remember talking with my coach Sifu that we were watching those YouTube videos of Lethwei. It was like grainy and like it was nothing. Now it's like more and more. We have like shows in Japan and Tokyo and it's like HD. But back then we were watching this here at the gym and there was nothing. And I said I want to fight this. You know, he's like okay, let's train more. Let's do more headbutts. Let's do more of this. And it's always something that we wanted. And basically, we found out about the Lethwei through social media, and I wanted to bring more eyes to it. So I started like the Lethwei Tuesdays.
Great series.
You like it?
Yeah,
Thank you. And it's just like a lot of exposure. Video is king right now, and I think it's important to put it out there, especially like because now we have like eyes all over the world instead of just word to mouth. So. Yeah, it's necessary, but it was a strategy with my team. We really wanted to make sure that it goes everywhere. So yeah. So.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I'm very excited for your new gym. I'm very excited for your retirement fight, and I do plan on visiting this gym.
You will? You're invited. You're invited. Yeah, awesome. So right now it's a pleasure. So right now the next step is we have a world tour coming up. Yep. So like I said, part of the not the propaganda, but the publicity.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna do world tour like Germany, Europe and Australia. So we're gonna show Lethwei the true effectiveness of headbutts and bare knuckle fighting. Yeah.
Very exciting, man. Congratulations on all your success. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, I'm with my friend Louis Hill at Capital Combat Parley. Make sure to watch and share the video and follow the page Capital Combat Parley.